Mexico has been on a lot of people's minds as protests continue for the 43 missing students from the Ayotzinapa school. The students were taken by a drug cartel with the help of local government and police and may have been killed. What's become all too clear is that the line between narco-trafficking and government is gone, and that the drug war has failed. Everyone agrees on this, from pundits to former presidents, everyone, of course, except for US and Mexican government officials who continue to push drug war policies. But if the drug war is being lost and hundreds of thousands of people have been killed, then why does it continue? Well, that's because someone is winning, and it's important to find out who. First, you've got Mexican drug cartels like Sinaloa, Los Zetas, and the Gulf Cartel. They rake in $6.6 billion a year in drugs sold to the US alone. The former head of the Sinaloa cartel was actually on Forbes' 2013 list of most powerful people, up there with Bill Gates. Forbes lists his source of income as drug trafficking and calls him, quote, self-made. That's one way to put it. Beyond the cartels themselves, you've got banks. See, if you're a drug kingpin, at some point you've got to launder your money to make it legit. And over the years, HSBC, Wachovia, and Bank of America, to name a few, have all helped cartels do just that. HSBC knowingly turned a blind eye to the Sinaloa cartel that was laundering money through its banks. And yet, it did purposefully widen some of its bank teller windows to accommodate such large amounts of cash. Then Wachovia actually accepted $420 billion from suspect Mexican sources without even bothering to check where it was coming from. For all this and more, no one has spent a day in jail. Then you have weapons dealers. Cartels need weapons, and US manufacturers are delivering. 70% of all weapons recovered by the Mexican police between 2007 and 2011 could be traced back to the US. Drugs going one way, weapons going the other. Other winners of the drug war are police forces and private security contractors. See, there's this thing called the Merida Initiative, or Plan Mexico, which was signed into law in 2008 by George W. Bush. It's essentially a security agreement between the US and Mexico to fight narco-trafficking. And since 2008, Mexico has received billions of dollars in US police equipment and security deals. People running private prisons also benefit from an endless drug war. In the US, almost half of all federal inmates are in on drug offenses, and increasingly they're being kept in private prisons. And the laws seem designed to feed the system. In Florida, for example, having up to 20 grams of marijuana is a criminal misdemeanor, gets you a $1,000 fine, and could wind you up in jail for a year. It's good business if you run a private prison. The Corrections Corporation of America, for example, made $300 million in profit just last year. Finally, there's big business. Critics of the Merida Initiative point to Plan Colombia. Under Plan Colombia, the U.S. promised to reduce cocaine production in Colombia by 50% in 6 years. Instead, production went up. However, a success story, according to Don Paley, who wrote this book, Drug War Capitalism, is that 52 economic reforms were passed in Colombia that happened to benefit multinational corporations. Paley and others say the Merida Initiative, like Plan Colombia, is just as much about helping business as it is about fighting drugs. And there you have it. Most people fear the drug war, while some actually turn a profit off of it. And Mexicans, for one, are saying enough is enough.
Who are these billion-dollar cartels that are operating in the United States?
Local police in the state of Guerrero arrested the students and handed them over to a drug cartel